Okay, so yes, Juan, could you please introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Juan Gomez. I'm a student from America, to be more specific, Florida. I came to Japan a couple of years ago as part of a study abroad program, but I decided that instead of graduating from the university, I would prefer to enroll full-time in the university here. So I left the university in Florida and applied to Juan University.
Fantastic. Why did you want to come to Japan in the first place?
Actually, so when I first came here, I was just interested in cultural stuff, watching anime and stuff. But I got to really like Japanese people and made a lot of friends. And I decided that actually living here would be something I would want to do in the future. So, coming to this university is the first step in my goal.
Let's see. Now, how did you hear about Wakayama University at first?
Actually, one of the friends that from the other school I studied abroad at was from Wakayama, and she told me about the school. It was actually quite suited to what I was looking for.
See. Now, why did you decide to become a student at Wadai? Was your friend like a big influence on that process?
My friend was a big influence, but other than that, or rather, I guess more importantly, is Wakayama University is very famous for its educational department.
Right.
Since the employment rate from graduating the education department here is second best in all of Japan. So I figured that as a foreign person trying to get into a teaching position here in Japan, going to the second best employment rate university would probably be a big help.
That's great. All right. Now, how did you handle the application process, right?
So I actually, a year before coming to this university, I went to a Japanese language school in Tokyo, and for the most part, they showed me, to apply to universities, you have to do this and this, you have to look this up. So for the most part, like the step-by-step process was sort of told to me, but to be more specific, first I had to take this exam called the EJU, which is the exam for Japanese university admission. After taking that exam, like depending on my score, it determines what university I can apply for. And I managed to barely get into the pass range for Wakayama University. So from that point, I took the Wakayama University exam and oral interview.
I see.
And from there, managed to enter the university.
Fantastic. That's good. All right. Now, what was maybe the easiest, and perhaps if you could also add the hardest thing that you had to go through when applying for Wakayama University?
The easiest part about applying for the university was, probably filling out the paperwork.
Right.
Filling out the paperwork, and I guess taking the written exam. It wasn't too bad. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be.
I see.
The most difficult part was it's actually tied between taking the EJU itself,
Right.
and practicing for the oral exam. Since at least at my Japanese language school, my teacher put a huge emphasis on making the interview a success. So
Right.
I had to memorize lines and stuff. As for the EJU, however, it's actually it's got a Japanese portion. For people who don't know, it's got a Japanese portion and a math science portion. Also social studies, depending on your field. So studying for the math and sciences in Japanese was probably one of the hardest things I had to do.
Right. Yeah. Now, how did you feel during the interview? Were you nervous about it, or what was the atmosphere, during the interview that you had to have here at Wakayama University like?
I actually felt quite nervous about the interview beforehand, but during it, I guess it's thanks to all the practice my teachers gave me at my Japanese school. It went by rather smoothly.
see. It's
So
good.
the teachers here are also very nice and understanding, so they don't really get too caught up in some minor details.
Fantastic. That's good to hear. All right. Now, if you have any tips for any future prospective students that are considering to come to Wakayama University, like what would you tell them, to do when it comes to living in Wakayama or just applying for Wakayama University, right? Anything that you might think that is useful for them in the future.
Well, of course, the very most important thing is to study hard for your exams and practice that oral interview because, well, even if it doesn't have to be perfect, but the teachers want to see if you can first of all understand their questions and second of all answer them in a coherent, understandable manner. So I think I guess I have a lot of influence from my own teachers, but doing well on that oral interview can be very helpful. Aside from that, the EJU subjects can be rather difficult too. So of course, building your Japanese and mastering your languages, the language and like the other subjects related to it is very important.
Right. Are you glad you made your choice? I mean, you're a student here at Wakayama right now, and how do you feel about the university in general, about life in Japan?
Actually, I think the Wakayama University is actually a very good university. It's kind of located in a inconvenient place. Not many stores or any place to get food or shop around, but aside from that, it's got a good atmosphere. The weather is generally pretty nice, and the faculty is very, very helpful.
I see. Well,
I'm definitely very glad I was admitted to this university.
Very nice. All right, Juan. Thank you very much for your time. And this was Juan sharing his experiences with the application process here at Wakayama University. Do you have any final words or comments?
Good luck.